Good evening, you're watching ERi-TV English News Broadcast. I am Salim Burhana and these are the top stories. "13 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Public seminars organized in the U.S. The global COVID-19 cases and death toll continue to rise. China and Russia released a joint statement to the United States. Domestic news. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 13 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central region. Out of this, 5 patients are from quarantine centers and 8 patients are from testing stations in Gazawanda 2, Daga Hamus 1, Maichahot 1, Godaif 1, Ma'akal Katama 1, Arba'at Asmara 1, central region. On the other hand, 8 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the central region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 7,084, while the number of deaths stands at 60. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 7,318. Ministry of Health, Asmara, November 28, 2021. Mr. Berhane Gebrhiwot, charged affairs of the Eritrean embassy in the U.S., conducted seminars to nationals in various cities of the U.S. At the seminars conducted in Washington, Seattle, Oakland, Houston, Chicago, and New York, Mr. Berhane Gebrhiwot gave detailed briefing on the objective situation in the homeland in terms of the regional and global developments, and especially on the unwarranted external interference in the internal affairs in the region. In his briefing, Mr. Berhane called on the nationals to raise their understanding, awareness, and strengthen their unity and reinforce participation in the diplomatic and media activities aimed at in foiling the external conspiracies that are aiming to disrupt the prevailing peace and cooperation in the region. He also called for strengthening participation and contribution in the implementation of the national development drives. The participants on their part expressed conviction to strengthen organizational capacity and to actively participate in the diplomatic and media campaigns and to firmly stand in the efforts the Eritrean government and Eritrean Defense Force are exerting to ensure national sovereignty and stability. The residents of Serejaqasab zone are involving in the renovation and expansion of 9-kilometer long dirt road connecting their village to the Asmara-Karen Highway. Speaking to Arena, Mr. Kiflamaram Gebrameskel, Administrator of Serejaqasab zone, stated that the residents of Maqarka, Inanalai, and Tahrashi are renovating and expanding 7 kilometers of the dirt road, while the residents of Daqsab are renovating the rest of the dirt road that has been difficult to transportation area. Area Administrator of Daqsab, Dafara, Inan Alai, and Tahrashi areas on their part stated that the renovation of dirt road will elevate socio-economic activities of the residents. Residents on their part called for machinery support for sustainable alleviation of the transportation problem in their areas. And now we'll be back with the international news after a short break. The Omicron variant of COVID-19, which has a large number of mutations with worrying characteristics, has so far been detected or suspected in multiple countries around the world, including the UK, Germany, and Australia. The Omicron variant, or the B11529, was first reported to the World Health Organization by South Africa on November 24, and then first known confirmed B11529 infection was from a specimen collected on November 9. Following worrying initial studies, the World Health Organization last Friday classified the new COVID-19 strain as a variant of concern, naming it the Omicron variant, during an emergency meeting. Since then, the variant has been reported in multiple countries. On Friday, Europe reported its first case in Belgium. The country's chief virologist said the variant was detected in a returning traveler from Egypt. A day later, British Health Secretary Sajid Javid said 2 cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant have been detected in Britain. To curb the spread, 4 more countries are being added to Britain's travel red list today: Angola, Mozambique, Malawi, and Zambia. The ambassadors of China and Russia to the United States released a joint statement yesterday to firmly reject the upcoming U.S.-led online summit for democracy. The United States will be hosting the Online Summit for Democracy on December 9 to 10, empowering itself to define who is entitled to attend the event and who's not, who is a democratic country, and who is not eligible for such status. The joint statement, titled Respecting People's Democratic Rights, called the U.S. move to host such an event an evident product of Cold War mentality, which will only stoke up ideological confrontation and a rift in the world, creating new dividing lines. In the joint statement, both China and Russia confirmed their commitment to the common values of humanity, saying that democracy can be realized in multiple ways and no model can fit all countries. And now, reminders of the top stories. Thirteen patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Public seminars organized in the U.S. The global COVID-19 cases and death toll continue to rise. China and Russia released a joint statement to the United States. That's all with the news for tonight. Thank you for joining us.